In this tutorial, I'm going to show you a couple of things about navigating your way around this XP30. Now, as you should have read in the handout that accompanies this lab, which is the Turbo Start Guide, I think in that Turbo Start it says that there are 1,500 different sounds stored in this instrument. And there are a lot of different ways to find sounds. And we're going to address just a couple of those in this tutorial, and then next tutorial we'll look at something else. But let me make a couple of main points here. What we're going to be doing is auditioning patches. When you're auditioning a patch, you need to make sure that you play the synthesizer in lots of different ways. You should play really high notes, notes in the middle of the keyboard, and low notes. You should play fast notes. You should play slow notes, so that you get a good feeling for what that patch is capable of doing. Another thing you can do is play the notes, hit the notes hard, to see if that changes. Try playing soft to see if that affects the sound. Okay, and we'll talk about some more of these, which we're going to call performance controllers, a little bit later. Okay, so back to the basics of navigating the patches of this instrument. First thing you want to know about, or you should know about, is these octave shift buttons. Notice I said we were going to use the display as a landmark. Move your eyes to the left. You'll see a column of 6 buttons under the heading Mode. Let's first, since we're right here anyway, let's make sure that the patch button is lit up. If Perform is lit, simply touch the patch button, push that so that it lights up instead of Perform. All right? That puts the keyboard in a single patch mode, meaning every key on the keyboard will trigger the same synthesizer sound. So we're in patch mode. We're going to move one group of buttons to the left, the buttons that say key effects at the top. Down at the bottom, you'll see a key marked -OCT and +OCT. Each of those will shift the keyboard up or down 1 octave. Let me demonstrate. When no lights are lit, that means no shifting has occurred, and the keyboard is in its normal tuning position. Now I'll keep hitting the same note while hitting the -OCT to shift down an octave each time. Down an octave. I'm playing the same note, but you hear it lower. If I press it again, it'll shift down again. And again, one more. If I keep going, eventually it stops. So I can shift it down 3 octaves, it looks like. When I'm ready to shift it back up, what I do is I hit the plus octave button. Here's where we were. If I go plus, up 1 octave, up another, and one more hit, and now the keyboard is not shifted at all. It's in its normal tuning. If I keep hitting plus, I can shift it up. Okay, so for this little demonstration, if you're following along, I know that you probably have to do this later, but make sure your keyboard has no octave shift. Both lights are out. And okay, 1,500 patches. We can see the patch name now. Since we, again, double check in the mode buttons here, we selected patch. And on the display now it reads patch play, and then a memory location and the name of the patch that's currently available. There are 1,500, as I said, and one way to select different patches is simply by spinning this wheel. It's called a value wheel. It's got a little indentation that's just begging for your fingertip. You can stick your fingertip in there and spin like crazy, and you'll see that the patch names keep changing, and each one of those represents a different sound. All right, if you're following along in the lab, why don't you pause this little video, plug your headphones into the keyboard, and just audition some of the patches that way. Okay, we're back. Now, that's a great way to just experiment. If you have no idea what sound you're looking for, and you just want to get a basic overview of what sounds are in this synthesizer, great way to do it, just spinning the wheel. You can even refine that by, rather than moving several notches up or back through the list by spinning the wheel, you can refine that by using these buttons below the wheel. DEC means decrease or decrement, and that will move you back one patch, that's what we call these names, one patch or instrument sound through the list. INC, increase or increment, will move you forward one patch at a time. Again, that term patch, which is what we call synthesizer sounds, one patch at a time through the list, either forward or back, with the INC or DEC, increment, decrement, increase, decrease buttons. Okay, that's it for this tutorial. Have fun, experiment for a little bit, and then move on to the next step.